Okay, I just decided to pull some cards to get a little read on the energies. And the first card I got is the Servant, and the light attribute is delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. And the shadow attribute is using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. So these energies, especially from this deck, shows us how there is a light attribute or a shadow attribute to any type of archetype, personality type, any type of characteristic or deed. And there is kind of an awareness of when we are doing for others from a shadow aspect in terms of you're doing it because you are forced to, you are doing for others because you are forced to in some or other way, like families can tend to make us feel responsible for them in a very controlling, manipulative way, or adhering to dogma, or beliefs that about society, that a man has this role or a woman has this role regardless, and you just have to do it. When yes, that might be the case, but if you're not doing it from a place of love and open-heartedness and joy and truly sharing positive energy, then it becomes a shadow attribute. So you might have a loved one that you absolutely love and care about, but they might be taking advantage of your kindness, and you still feel loyal towards them. In that scenario, you're not doing justice to yourself or to them. So there is really an awareness of serving others, because that's what we're all here to do, right? Is to be servants to others. But there's often an imbalance between how much we give and receive and the intention and the energy behind it, because we've created and lived from a very unconscious place before. And now we sort of, in any given moment, have to do sort of an assessment and an inward reflection on, why am I doing this? Is this for my highest good? Is this just an automatic response from programmed behavior? Is this because of a past trauma? It has to be very intentional. Because you can be doing what seems like a good deed from a very resentful place or an angry place or whatever the case, and then it's not going to be beneficial for you or the other person. And I think the aspect of using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life is something that most of us can relate to, because a lot of us come from really difficult backgrounds, and some of us make it out and others don't. And you sort of question what's the distinction. Why do some turn really, really terrible circumstances into something beautiful and others just go the other way? Which is not a judgment, it's just an observation. When we are beings of such great power that we can use alchemy, we can create from nothing. And nothing in the terms of external things, because we have so much within us. Is what you're doing bringing you joy? And Are you doing it from a place of love? Then we have the father archetype. The light attribute is talent for creating and supporting life. Positive guiding light with a tribal unit. And then the shadow attributes is dictatorial control and abusive authority. And this is such a fine distinction. And I see this in terms of masculine energy and not necessarily just a father in the traditional sense. But a masculine energy has this ability to support and create by not dictating, controlling, manipulating, or asserting aggression or that kind of energy, but by being a support, a stable foundation or a stable structure, which is a safe space, a protective space. And safe means understanding. Safe means allowing. It's almost crazy how the generally accepted understanding of the male archetype is not exactly what we've been seeing. So this is not necessarily just for men, but for our masculine energies in general. And these two, again, these cards can work so well hand in hand. Because a lot of the time when we are in our masculine energy to get things done, we don't see ourselves as servants, we see ourselves as bosses. Like, I want to boss someone around. That's what the general male archetype stereotype is. When a true leader doesn't have to resort to those types of shadow aspects. And you can observe how integrated you are by your relationship with your father, your sons, your husband, and their relationship with you. Are you able to, even if you're a woman with children and there's no male energy, are you able to take on the supportive structure, the safe space, this protective space without being abusive? And there's varying levels to that. And I know as a woman and a mother of sons, like, my masculine energy has been tested to the limits as to not being this type of archetype and being my light archetype, because this is what's been modeled to me my whole life with the masculine energies around me. So I really had to put a concerted, conscious effort into when I have to be in my masculine energy a lot of the time, where I am more comfortable in my feminine energy. But because the world isn't idyllic, in an ideal world, there would be someone to play the masculine energy and still be in touch with his feminine energy, and I could play the feminine energy and still be in touch with my masculine energy. But in different situations, we need to draw on different energies within ourselves, and we cannot ignore the different archetypes and only be one rigid type of person, because there's so much required of us on so many levels. So this is very interesting, that I think this is something that might be coming up for a lot of us, because relationships has been going through a lot of transformation. Every kind of relationship. This could even apply to a work environment with being a boss and being an employee, an employer. let me not use the word boss. And then we have companion. The light attribute is loyal, tenacity, and unselfishness. And the shadow attribute is betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. I think we are all wanting this in our romantic relationships, in our family relationships, in every kind of relationship. We are trying to find the balance between being loyal in the sense that you fiercely love people but allow them to be free and be themselves. When there are other instances when we are almost expected to be loyal to people and things that are detrimental to us, or that is not good for anyone. And again, these dynamics can play out where loyalty can be a negative thing in the wrong context. And unselfishness can be abused, and loss of personal identity can be an unconscious thing that happens, or because you care about someone and you want to relate to them and resonate with them, you might change certain aspects of yourself to allow a relationship to work, but it won't actually work if you're not being authentic and truthful to yourself. So we're really having to find ourselves being what's the word interdependent and autonomous, but still working together with others, providing the support, serving, but without that negatively affecting either ourselves or others. And I actually thought I was going to pull tarot along with these cards, but this has gone on, like, I don't know, this is a lot. But I will pull some more cards. I'm just trying to decide which ones to pull from. Okay, I'm gonna pull some tarot as well, just to see if there's anything else that comes through that might be helpful. The Justice card keeps popping out in the bottom even though I'm shuffling. And the Justice card in this deck to me it's honesty and equality. She's holding a sword and a scale. If you can't be honest in a relationship, how is it going to be fair and equal if there's no truth and authenticity? 7 of Pentacles. I do feel like we have put in a lot of work in terms of growth, and even actual work and finances, and there might not be any evidence of you haven't reaped the benefits yet, but it's sort of like you've gotten so far. You need to keep taking care of it, and if you start losing hope and being like, what's the point, that plant can feel that energy, so you can give it water and sunshine and whatever and prune it, but you even though it's difficult to keep going when you're not getting the recognition or reward or remuneration or whatever it is, the benefits, if it is worth it, you will know. Like I have a tendency to overwater plants. I'm an overgiver. So that's something I had to learn. Like, you need to learn when to back off, give less, do less, and just wait and watch and be patient, and you need to know when, okay, maybe I need to tweak a little bit here, there, maybe I need to change something, move that pot into a different spot, and that's just an analogy. But I mean, there we got the Four of Swords, which is she's tired, she needs some rest. It might be meditation or prayer, taking a time out to get some mental clarity. And when you take a time out, it's not a time to not do a lot of things and take the time to now sit and stew in your thoughts and emotions. It's like you need to stop thinking, stop doing, stop feeling, give yourself really a mental break. And sometimes a mental break can be even more beneficial than a physical break, like going on a holiday or doing something fun. Sometimes you really need to switch off, completely off. And I feel like the Seven of Pentacles with this Four of Swords is like, you've done the work. Don't get despondent, just give it time. And the time that it takes for this to blossom, come to fruition, is the time that you've been given as an opportunity to get ready for when it's time to harvest or reap the harvest. So instead of being anxious or frustrated about it, you can just choose to be grateful for it and enjoy it. And then comes the overflow, the happiness, the joy, the love, the fulfillment from a job well done. Because whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and you get to a point where everything that you've already done, what comes from that needs to come. It's going to come. You've already done that. So what you do in the present moment and in the time to come is another part of a timeline that will play out at another time. But what's already been done will play out. But I'm hearing luck as well. And not luck in terms of, just the spin of the throw of the dice. It's like, it's fortuitous, it's good, it's fortunate. And the Seven of Cups. Get clear on how you want to feel and what you want to have and what you want to manifest in these times. Like, you might need to reevaluate the things that you care about and what no longer is worth it, or what you thought was working isn't working, or what could possibly work. And you don't have to get clear of that mentally, cognitively. You get clear on how it feels. Like, is winning the lotto really going to make the situation better? Is that just wishful thinking because we think money can fix everything, or help us get away from what's really the thing? Is that we internally unhappy or unfulfilled? Like, will you be more fulfilled if you find a passion or creative thing that makes you feel productive and happy and rewarded just by doing it without the money, and then the money comes anyway? Like, get clear on the things that you really love and what matters. And this takes you to your victory. And when you get to the victory, you're balanced. Instead of getting to your victory and then you're exhausted, or you're burnt out, or you're so jaded and bitter that like it doesn't even matter anymore. The Hermit. Switch off. Spend some time alone. Connect inward. It's amazing how much clarity comes in stillness. And I think most of it is not from getting answers, but just from finding peace within, stilling all that turmoil and conflict that we might feel. And then for some of us, we just really need to keep going with what we've been doing without the anxiety and without the pressure, and leave those things behind, and you're actually really on the right path. But there doesn't have to be the sense of urgency or dread around work and finances and life. How do we get to that temperance of, this is what's happening right now. I am still moving, still growing, still healing, and tomorrow will come, but right now is right now. And through sheer will, you will get to that great victory. And I feel like, for me personally, and I feel like a lot of people can feel that way, is that we, you want great things, and not necessarily a big house and an expensive car, but big things in your life, in terms of I conquered an anxiety, or I stepped out of my comfort zone and tried something new, learned something new, explored things that I thought I never would have before, mastered things that I thought I never would have before, felt things that I never would have before. And it doesn't have to be the traditional things that we always consider success. She's on a bike here, so she's on the move. But there's this balance of the duality, and she's got a wand here, so she's creating her life as she goes, but she's determined to go big or go home, and not in terms of I have to do this, but I want to do this, and this is my life. And I feel like I've been rambling, because I think I went away while I was talking somewhere. But maybe it makes sense to someone.